You've stared at a 40-page report the night before a vital customer meeting, knowing you've wasted hours trying to work through the key points and you still feel unprepared. Here's the truth. It isn't your effort or motivation that's the problem. It's the way you're working. I used to grind through documents until midnight and still got blindsided by questions. But this fixed it. Imagine walking into your meeting calm, clear on all the detail in the report, confident you can answer anything. By the end of this video, you'll see how to prepare using study mode. We'll look at how it helps you understand complex documents quickly, explain them clearly to your team, and persuade confidently in front of customers, all while saving hours of prep. Let's first look at how study mode can help you understand complex documents. And there really are two ways to use study mode to understand big documents. Option 1, speed. You paste the document in and it instantly gives you the 5 key points. Picture a 30-page risk register boiled down to, these are the 3 risks that the board cares about. Here's the biggest assumption buried in Appendix C, and here's one number that will be challenged by the board. Instead of hours of scanning, you have the scaffold in minutes. Option 2 is to go for depth. Maybe you do read the document through yourself, and then you use study mode to quiz you. It asks, what's the main risk here? How would you explain this clause in your own words? Which section would the regulator question first? It's like having a coach over your shoulder, pushing you beyond, I think I get it, to, yes, I can defend it. Both routes save time, but in different ways. With speed, you skip the heavy lifting altogether. With depth, you learn once properly, and with the underlying detail. So let me give you an example of how I use study mode in this way. Last month, I needed to get to grips with the EU AI Act, all 144 pages of it, and quickly. I needed to discuss its implications to a project I was involved in the next day. I'm used to looking at legislation, and I had an idea of the way in which this act worked, but I certainly didn't know the detail, and I didn't know what I didn't know. So I used study mode first to outline the legislation and the key areas, then to identify any particular issues relevant to the work I was doing, giving me the outline structure, pointing out the areas I wasn't aware of, and providing the basis of the approach adopted by the EU, helped me get to grips with the document in minutes, something that would have taken me at least a couple of hours to skim through. The result, I got back my evening, while knowing that I really understood the legislation and the nuances that I might otherwise have been vague on and would have had to have researched again. As a leader, your job isn't just to know, it's to ensure your team knows. And most documents are written for auditors, lawyers, regulators, and so on, not for your team. Study mode bridges that gap. You can literally say, rewrite this technical section so my project managers know what to do tomorrow. Or turn this contract clause into 3 bullet points for my ops team. What you get is clear, plain English. That means fewer clarification meetings, less back and forth, and faster action. Let me give you an example. An executive I spoke with recently had a dense services schedule to deal with, full of cross-references, footnotes, and legalese. She dropped it into study mode and asked for the key things my project managers must not miss this week. It came back with, send detailed implementation plan to the customer, prepare first draft of the security plan, confirm insurance certificates, finalise criteria for first deliverables. Her team knew exactly what to do, and she didn't waste half a day reviewing and writing a guide to the schedule herself. This is about leverage. Every time you explain clearly once, you multiply impact across the whole of your team. Study mode becomes your clarity coach, the tool that stops you being the bottleneck. This is where study mode gets really powerful, because knowing and explaining aren't enough when meeting with customers. You also have to persuade. Customers don't just want to listen to your sales presentation, they want to challenge it. And study mode lets you rehearse those challenges before you're in the hot seat. Ask it. Play devil's advocate. What's the customer going to push back on? It might reply, they'll ask who's taking the currency risk, they'll challenge the headcount assumption, and they'll want to know what penalties we're proposing to accept for delays. Now you can practice your answers as many times as you like and in private. Let me give you an example. An operations director I worked with used study mode the night before an investor call. She asked, what's the harshest question they could throw at me on these projections? Study mode gave her 5. She rehearsed the answers. Next day, when one of those exact questions landed, she'd already had a crisp, confident response prepared. The investors noticed. This is persuasion with preparation. Confidence built before you ever step in the room. And again, it saves time. Instead of scrabbling around afterwards because you weren't ready, you front-loaded the thinking. Study mode is your executive edge. It helps you understand faster, explain clearer, and persuade with confidence. But if you don't keep in mind one vital limitation with LLMs, even using study mode will mean you can miss vital information. If you want to avoid that mistake, then watch this next video. See you on the next one.